What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and hopefully you guys are having a great day off. That's right, we get 2 days off this week. Our boy DSP had to take a day off just to plug in a freezer into his garage. That's right, yes, everyone I know that ever gets a freezer or refrigerator, they need to take a whole day off just to plug it in. That's right, that's what DSP is doing today. And of course, tomorrow, of course, is grocery shopping, which takes all day. And yeah, so it gives us a day just to chill and hang out and do a go back and see what happened during the week. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So let's start it off today with reviewing the daily cope or the daily rap session. Big ups to Sunny 3.0 for uploading it without the audio, the background. I do appreciate that, so a big shout out to him. And yeah, yesterday was not a good day for Phil. It really wasn't, man. He struggled. That's right. No Coffers. We're up to no Coffers number 3, as Phil did not hit the goal the day before on the night stream, and then of course he missed the 2 streams, the goals for the 2 streams yesterday. So man, it's getting tough for Phil, and of course that means no Pokemon card pack unpacking. And I think that's probably bothering Phil even more. So let's see what he has to say. By the way, this video is about 7.5 minutes long, so I guess he decided to compact all his bitching and complaining in a short segment. So let's see what he had to say.
Good evening, everybody. DSP here. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Thursday.
Oh God, already sounded defeated. My God, it sounds like Cat just said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of all this Pokemon crap. You got 2 days to throw it the hell out of my house. And of course he's sad because the addiction is taking hold. Something happened. I'm pretty sure what it was the low support. And he didn't make the money he needed for his day off. Let's not forget, folks, the bank account, as soon as it hits midnight, he's like Cinderella. As soon as he hits midnight, the bank account goes back to 0. I swear to God, you know the man has no savings. So he was counting on today's Thursday stream to make him enough money so that he would have money for Friday and Saturday. And sadly, that didn't happen. The man walked away with, what, $60 on the first stream. If you take YouTube's cut, he may have walked away with like 30 bucks. And then on the night stream, he made, I don't know, 60 bucks there. And most of it was just super chat. So he did not have a good day. So there's no extra spending money on his 2 days off. Cat's going to have to do with 1 DoorDash run a day, not 3. Not the usual 3. So that's why he sounds defeated.
11th of June, 2026. Final day in my 5-day streaming week, which was a shorter week. Because of that,
I'm going to stop it real quick because someone asked me to make a video on this where they wanted me to clip a video of DSP constantly fucking with his shirt. And they asked me the question, why does he constantly touch his shirt? Like, what the hell is going on? Is it a tick? Is it OCD? What's the problem? And I responded to the person who said, no, it's not OCD. What it is, it's 2 things. One, it's that his wife buys his clothes at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. And if you don't know anything about the stores, typically what they do is they buy bulk clothing from designers. They typically buy like old like last year's fashions at a discount, or they buy irregular items. So things that aren't torn or broken, but there's a slight defect where maybe the collar on one side's a little bit too longer than the other, or the sleeve was cut a little off, or it's an extra large but it's really a medium. Those are the type of things that companies like Marshall's and TJ Maxx, they buy that stock. So you got to be very careful when you shop at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. You should always try it on just to make sure that it fits okay or it isn't irregular. So apparently Phil doesn't do that because his wife actually does all the shopping for him. And yeah, that's why he's uncomfortable, because it's not fitting well. It's either that or much like a crackhead that hasn't had their fix in quite a while. You know, they get the itches, you know what I mean? They start moving around, they have to start touching their face, their hair, and that's what it is. It's just it's a self-soothing thing that DSP does when he's stressed out. So right here he's stressed out because he's gonna have to explain to Cat why he doesn't have any money to pay for the 2 days off. So Phil's gonna have to find something, you know what I mean? All his money is tied up in Pokemon cards. So there's no sushi, there's gonna be nothing. There's only gonna be 1 DoorDash order a day, not the usual 3. And he has to explain that to Cat why he can't order 6 DoorDashes in 2 days. And he's stressed the fuck out because we know Cat will beat his ass. So that's the explanation. So I hope that explains it for you. I'm not going to make a video on it, but hopefully that's enough of an explanation of why Phil constantly touches himself.
Today we did a couple of things that I wanted to either get ahead on or do because I couldn't do on the normal streaming day. All week I was wondering, man, I wonder how Thursday's going to go. Because number one, today I wasn't doing any reacting or anything like that whatsoever. Number two,
remember the days last week where he was bitching about react streams and no one supported it, and he hated doing react streams because no one supports it. Now he's actually saying, well, because I wasn't doing react content, I was worried I wasn't going to get support. Again, this guy's excuses change by the day. You know what I mean? Like, he'll sit there and say, well, you know, my viewers don't like Pokemon games, so that's why no one supported. And then the next day talk about, well, my viewers only watch Pokemon. Like, it's just the excuses change. And if you're not someone that follows every detail of the Vortex, you wouldn't know these things. But sadly, me, I watch a lot of DSP content, and I know how his excuses change over time. Good God, man. He's going to actually now start using Pignosis to explain why the Street Fighter didn't get, or excuse me, the Marvel Capcom fighting game didn't get any money last night. And everybody knows why. Jack Raxter was MIA. That's right. I'm pretty sure Phil put out a bolo for Jack Raxter to see where the hell he was. I guess he was busy working at the bus company and he couldn't get off. I guess that's what it was.
I was in a situation where basically I wanted to get as far as I could in Symphony of the Night because I knew that I was almost done with the game, probably 2 more streams and I could beat it. But I also knew that sadly for Symphony of the Night, I just wasn't getting much viewership or support in the previous streams. So what would happen tonight? But in addition to that, I'm doing Thursday night fights. And what that means is that I'm playing fighting games on a day other than Friday. And that's always hit or miss. Sometimes I will get a good crowd and it ends up going really well. Other times, it's really hard to get a crowd for fighting games unless it's Friday night. So how did it go? Well, sadly, it didn't go well. It basically went how I was kind of worried about. Not to say that it's the end of the world, because it's definitely not. The rest of the week was amazing. But yeah, basically what happened was we got a good attendance for the podcast this morning. And on the podcast, we talked about various different topics, including figuring out some new games we're going to try next week, including either Mina the Hollower and Killer Bean, and also Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Also, we talked about the possibility of doing a React event next week, depending on if people want it or not. And we talked about the next DSP tries it, which we also determined. So it was a productive stream, don't get me wrong. But after the podcast ended, which by the way, by the time the podcast ended, I think we had gotten like maybe, I want to say like 20, 30 bucks to support. Okay. By the time the podcast ended, basically everyone left. And I mean it, like we've had like over 250 viewers for the podcast. And sadly, they all just left it.
If you're curious what he's doing, he's checking to see if he got a late minute tip from Jack Raxter. That's what he's doing here, so that he can gloat and make it seem like, oh, it wasn't a bad stream. We hit the goal, or we hit the milestone of 150. I owed you a card pack. That's what he's doing here, folks. Whenever you see him on the Daily Wrap looking at his phone, he's looking to see if there's any late, Hail Mary tips that came in after the fact, so that he can self-soothe and try to convince people that the sky isn't falling and everything is well in Snort Korea.
Again, which is what happened last time too. Like, oh, I don't want to watch Symphony of the Night. So it ended up me with a few people who were engaged and a lot of people who weren't, and pretty much almost no support. 2 hours of Symphony of the Night progress. The good news is we're in position to finish the game next time we play it. We actually completed most of the exploration of the Upside Down Castle. We fought multiple bosses. I think the only thing left is basically the catacombs and that further down area in the castle. And once we're done exploring that, then I believe it's the finale of the game, where I think you fight Shaft and then the two, like the Dracula, and that's the end of the game. So that should be coming up next stream. But by the end of the stream, I made something like 60 bucks of support, and that was it. So no packs of cards opened or whatsoever. No big contribution to make that happen. So yeah, nothing. All right. So honestly, yeah, really slow stream. Disappointing. Again, I'm trying to get people interested in the classics. I always wanted to play Symphony of the Night because it is the original Metroidvania. I hoped we could get some people today. No. Okay. So the other thing I was worried.
Look at him. It sounds, God, man. It's like your dad being disappointed because you got a C in math or something. Like, come the fuck on, Phil, man. And again, what is this to anyone? Just because you don't have enough money to take your wife out to buy fucking gourmet sushi, that's nobody's problem. Why are you guilt tripping people in this? Are you upset and mad, and you know you can't scream at people, so you use this as a cope session? Like, what the fuck, really, Phil, man? How about just move on? You had 3 streams where there was low support, you didn't hit your goal, there was no Pokemon card pack openings. It just happens, brother. It's the middle of the week, it's the middle of the month. People are broke. He is so insulated. Like, he has no real world problems. He really doesn't. Like, if he had any interactions with the outside world, had any real friends, he would know that most people are struggling. Most people are struggling to pay their fucking bills, have enough money to pay for gas. You know what I mean? They're deciding whether to, you know, drive on, you know, on their day off to take their family on a little day trip, you know, versus the cost of how much it's going to cost them for gas. But this fucking idiot has no understanding of that. He has no sympathy, nothing. Again, he thinks his pay pigs are just, you know, they're just unlimited wallets that he can go open up and pick money out of and then be on his merry way. And the next time he needs money, he could do the same thing. And it doesn't work that way, Phil. And I know you cope and you, well, no, I understand. I'm a blue collar streamer and I understand and I work just like everyone else. No, man, you don't understand, okay? You don't fucking understand. Because if you did understand, you wouldn't be spending $500 on Pokemon card packs and then, you know, having your hand out every stream begging for $150 or more. Like, you don't understand, brother. You don't understand the struggle. Again, Phil is the epitome of first world problems. He really fucking is, man. Good God. But of course, you know, any of his problems are your problems. Like, I love how he fucking LARPs as a mature adult. And, you know, he's so busy and you know, has so many responsibilities. But yeah, he's dependent on 5 people, 5 random whales to make him and give him $120,000 a year just so that he can fucking survive. Yeah, but we you know, he's a mature adult that handles his responsibilities. Get bent, man.
Worried about is, again, doing fighting games not on a Friday night. So tonight was Thursday Night Fights. Here's the thing. Trolls always come out. Like, the trolls will always be out for fighting games.
Yeah, the
they
trolls.
Wanna, you know, troll and make...
Yeah, the trolls. The trolls have zero effect on his life. Yeah, but he's going to use the daily cope session to cope about his trolls.
Fun. And tonight, I basically made all the games eligible. Of course, the trolls know that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a laggy mess. So I play Marvel 2 because they vote for it. First person, again, abusing lag. They beat me.
I want to pause it here. I want to fucking pause it here because if you didn't watch the unrecorded bag segment, he talked about how last week when he played it and he got his ass stomped, he talked about how his friends from Connecticut all got together, right? Like 3 or 4 of his old Street Fighter buddies. They got together one night, that night, and they fired up the Capcom collection and because they knew Phil was going to be on. And they trolled him. And he talked about how they reached out to him and laughed at him and said, yeah, that was us teabagging you. Remember somebody teabagged him last week and he had a fucking meltdown? Yeah, apparently it was an old Street Fighter buddy of his who was trolling him. So, again, Phil, you want to tell us about your trolls? I mean, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I remember you told that story, unless that story was a lie, which I'm pretty sure it was probably a lie. He was trying to make people think he had friends when we know he doesn't.
Me once or twice, then I start beating them, and as soon as I start beating them, they quit. They don't want to face me because I'm actually beating them now. Fought like 3 or 4 people.
Brother, you rage quit a couple matches yesterday. What are you talking about? You started screaming about some guy using lag, and you rage quit just when he was about to beat you. So what are you talking about quitting? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Well, the last person using Magneto, Storm, Psylocke, MSP, and literally the only time they ever hit me was teleporting across the screen, and you couldn't see the hit, and then they would get infinite and win.
You use Magneto. What are you talking about? I love how he sits there and says, oh, these idiots, these tryhards use their best players. You use Magneto. What are you talking about? Again, that's just cope and seething from someone who just sucks. Who sucks at gaming and can't take the L and needs every excuse under the book. I mean, I haven't clipped a fighting game a stream in a while because it's the same nonsense with him. But last night, man, the cope and the seething from the fucking Street Fighter, from the Capcom collection was fucking great. And I said, you know what? I'm going to clip it this morning. I'm going to take my time. I ended up getting like a 25-minute clip, and I was like, this is way too long. So I ended up cutting it in half. So I had to decide what I wanted to remove. And I gave you guys like a 14-minute video. And here it is right here on the side, by the way. And it's glorious. Watch it. The cope and the seething. And him being upset that no one gave him any money. And that Jack Raxter didn't show up and ruined the stream. He ruined the business for him.
Or again, they would like dash and you're like, okay, I'm going to block. All of a sudden they're on the ground hitting you, even though the game doesn't show it. And then you're dead. So just basically a really pathetic cheater. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the person actually uses, you know, something to increase the latency so they can teleport and do these combos. They're probably intentionally cheating. So I rage quit out of that match and said, fuck this guy. I'm not going to even play him anymore. And we switched from Marvel 2 after like a half an hour over to the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. We then proceeded to play everything. I played SM Alpha 3. I played some Hyper Fighting. We didn't play Super Turbo, but we did do a good amount with Third Strike. I will say there was some good gameplay, some good Third Strike players. Sadly, the connections weren't good, but the players were good. So at least we got to see like a good Elena, a decent Remy. Some good players there. Good matches, you know, back and forth. And I will say there were some people that were there to enjoy, but a lot of trolls as well. By the end of the night, $80 of support. That's not terrible, especially because this is a night when we were playing fighting games on Thursday instead of Friday. The regular crowd wasn't there. The regulars, like 2 or 3 people who are regulars who almost always come by for Friday night fights and will support it.
Jack Raxter. Come on, Phil. Everyone knows. Everyone watches it. Everyone mocks you. Everyone says, where's Jack Raxter? Because he's the only person that gives a shit or even cares about Street Fighter or fighting games. It's Jack Raxter. And if Jack Raxter doesn't come out, you don't hit the goal. That's every stream, brother. So you're dependent on Jack Raxter to save the fucking fighting collection. And he didn't do it. And again, that's your fault because you decided to do it according to you. It's your fault because you did it on Friday versus Thursday. Okay, sure. Next, he's gonna be blaming the lunar position. Yeah, it was I don't know. It wasn't a full moon, so that's why we didn't hit the goal. That's why Jack Raxter couldn't come out and support the stream.
None of them were there today. So, you know, $80 when the regulars aren't there, it's pretty darn good. But again, it's a shame because we got no card packs, you know, today, meaning no one did a $50 contribution, never hit 100. So it is what it is. Just it sucks. You want the last day of the week to be the good one. And
it's almost like no one gives a shit about Pokemon cards, right? You would have thought, you know, someone would have came and dropped a 50, right? A 50, right, Phil? It seems like no one gives a shit. Almost like this gimmick because you shoved it down the dense throats every fucking 5 minutes you keep talking about it. People have just gotten tired of it and sick of it. So okay, again, something that should have been like a nice, hey, you know, this is something cool we can do whenever we play Pokemon. You fucking lied. Because again, let's remember, that was the intent. The intent was he was going to do something nice and extra for Pokemon streams. And then that shit evolved quicker than you don't know what. It became, well, we're going to do it for like poker streams. Or when we play, I don't know, when we play card pack simulator stream, whatever. And then it evolved into, well, it doesn't matter what I'm playing. We could do Pokemon card packs. And every fucking 5 minutes you're bringing up, hey guys, you know, if you want Pokemon packs, look, all I need is $50. That just grates on people. Because it's like, look, Phil, you talk about it so much. We understand what the goal is. We know what you want. We know you want money for fucking to unpack cards. We understand. Stop shoving it in our faces. If someone is interested, they'll fork up the $50. If not, then move on.
It ended up being the worst day of the week when it came to support and, you know, positivity and attendance. You know, attendance was great for fighting games, but it's mostly trolls. And almost no one really positively showed up for Castlevania.
Positivity.
It sucks, but what can you do?
It's
Overall,
it's
great
tough.
week, right? I think Pokemon Brilliant Diamond will probably work out well. TCG Card Shop still working well.
By the way, no, he's wrong. He's wrong. The support this week was super low, and I believe he missed. He did what, 12 streams? 5 of them he missed the goal. So again, this wasn't a great week. And how many card packs did you open up, Phil? What, 5, 6? How many of them were free? No, brother, this wasn't a good week for you, okay? All right, if we want to factor in the amount of money you spent on those Pokemon cards versus what you actually got in your stream, yeah, it wasn't good. And I'm going to do a video probably after this where we're going to talk about your levels of support, and it's not great, brother.
Finishing up Lego Batman was great. Now we know Pokemon Champions probably won't work unless we do it maybe once in a while as a night stream. You know, a lot of good stuff there. And 7th guest didn't work. That's okay. We have new stuff to try next week, which we will. Okay, so overall, thank you guys. Great streaming week. Had a great one with you. I am off for 2 days now. I'm not here tomorrow, nor am I here Saturday. Browsing, return back to streams. Hopefully next week it's 6 days of streaming. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hoping that we will have 6 days again. And then Sunday night. This is the thing we didn't come to a determination about today. I don't know who likes what. And then judge from there. Veronica X premiering. I hope you have safe and fun couple of days away.
Whatever. He's now so desperate. He's bringing Resident Evil out. Old ass Resident Evil. Whenever his business is failing, bring out Resident Evil or Grand Theft Auto. That's right. It's not good for Phil, man. The man's not having a good week, not a good month, and support's going to be extremely slow. And I am going to make a video today. We are going to talk about how he did with his money during the week compared to the previous week. Yeah, it should be good. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I am streaming today at 9:30. Come check it out. It should be a lot of fun. Peace out, everyone.